Hi everyone and good morning from Canada, where today we're here at the Toronto Zoo. What a creative sign this zoo has.
I absolutely love this.
Yes, this is my first time I've been at this zoo since the late 90s.
I've never been here.
Yeah, from the map it does look very, very big. In this video here we're going to show you all the animals and exhibits the zoo has to offer, starting here with the goats, and that is just a lot of fun. I also love how they have like a bridge that they can climb up on, lots of things to play with.
Bridge underneath.
Yeah, we're off to a good start here. This one should be a good exhibit, the Tundra Trek. Up on the hill there is a couple of Arctic wolves. This is a real treat. This is an animal that is not in a lot of zoos. They have a whole bunch of them.
They were growling a couple seconds ago.
Yeah. What a pretty animal. All right, the whole pack seemed to wander over to our corner where we're watching them. So they get to go on the camera one more time. They're so cool. They have so many. I mean, they must have, I could see 5 right now.
Just walking and following each other.
Except for that one up on the hill. Okay, so there's at least 6.
Maybe that one's
7.
the one that was growling.
Maybe. They have at least 2 polar bears, and they are both awake. It looks like they may have just gotten fed, as that one is having a snack. This one gives you an idea of just how big a polar bear is. As you can see it next to the people up here right by the window. Very, very pretty polar bears. They do have like a pool and an underwater section, but it's currently under refurbishment. Fury is now eating a head of lettuce. We are now right up against the polar bear, and I'm not sure what kind of treat he's eating.
I think it's something with ice.
Is it like a big piece of frozen meat?
Maybe.
That's a big bear. Oh my goodness. We are now in the second area for the polar bears. You can see one up on the hill there with its bare bottom. I was talking to one of the volunteers. The zoo is home to 4 different polar bears, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot for that's the most I know of at a zoo.
Yeah, there's a mom, a brother, and a sister, and an aunt.
Yes.
Here.
You can see they are redoing the pool at the moment. There is normally underwater viewing for the polar bears as well. All right, so we have now seen all 4 polar bears the zoo has.
Yeah, this is the mom and the aunt.
This is pretty cool. Not one I've seen at the zoo before. They turned this window into a one-way mirror at the polar bear enclosure. You can't see them at the moment, but
it is neat.
Yeah. Well, maybe the bird most synonymous with America. They do exist here in Canada as well. The bald eagle, a very, very pretty bald eagle here.
Very gorgeous.
Here's really cool. It's a polar bear sculpture made out of all like recycled stuff.
Like plastic.
This enclosure here is for caribou, but I can't find any at the moment. We have found the caribou. They are in the back enclosure. You can't really see them from the Tundra Trek area. You have to go to a Mayan temple area.
There's another guy eating us. There's at least 2. Look at him.
He's just got little horns.
He wants to go in the other enclosure.
I think he does. Not the easiest to see with the glare, but that is a lesser snow goose, a species I'm not familiar with. So earlier we got to see all the wolves running around. Well, it seems that has tuckered them out, as there's a whole bunch of them just taking a nap right now.
They're really close to the people.
Good view here of the Ankole cattle.
Or also known as the Watusi cattle.
Yes, they do have a lot of room. And I'm very jealous, Molly, of these people in front of us. Because they have Adirondack chairs.
And those chairs are great.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good part of your zoo day. Just hang out on one of those chairs, watch the Ankole cattle do their thing. We are now much, much closer to the Watusi cattle and their big horns. Made it to my personal favorite animal, the penguin. These guys are the African penguins. And I would have guessed that this used to be like a sea lion or seal enclosure from the looks of it. and it is now home to the African penguins.
It is giant area.
It is. This is the biggest, I think this is the biggest African penguin enclosure I have ever seen. Off in the corner, you can see what I'm guessing is a breeding pair. Kind of fun to watch the penguins, although there are a whole bunch making noise over there in the penguins' night home. Went down to the underwater viewing, which is actually very uncommon for African penguins, but unfortunately there's none on the water at the moment.
We're not on this side.
And here's a look into the penguins' night home. This is neat. A lot of zoos you don't get to see the night home for the African penguins.
There's a lot of them.
And that would make sense because it does get cold here in Toronto, that a lot of the times these penguins probably would not want to be outside except for in the summer season. I'm also sad that they're not using this chalkboard here, because I would really like to know who is the nice penguin of the month and who is the naughty penguin of the month. That is a treat. That's a hyena. They're an animal that's not in too many zoos, and it's pretty close.
And he's active. He's up.
Yeah.
Usually when you see them, they're down.
He's getting very close to the crowd. Molly, you have pretty good knowledge of African plains animals. Is that an eland I'm looking at there?
I would say yes. My guess.
Another view of the eland. They're the largest species of antelope. There you can see the zoo's red panda. I believe the red panda is normally in the Asia section, but they're building a new home for it, so it's over here in Africa for the time being. Aww. Taking a cat nap is the African lion. I do think the enclosure here for the lion is very interesting. It's kind of on different levels. So the lion can hang out down here, then it could take a ramp up there to where it's sleeping, or it could also get to this area up here. So this enclosure, pretty neat. Yeah, those lions, if they wanted to, they could come all the way over here as well. Normally lions at any zoos don't have like the coolest enclosure. This is actually a pretty nice lion enclosure. That is a South African ostrich hanging out there, very peacefully sitting down. Looking at an olive baboon there, having a snack. There's a couple different areas to view the olive baboons. We came to a third window and got a much better look at this one. Try to avoid visiting zoos on Saturdays for reasons like this. If you were curious what that crowd was looking for, they were all looking at this cheetah here. As you would guess, the cheetahs do have a lot of room to roam. Now viewing it not from the glass. And it's on the move. Having a graze there. That is a Grevy's zebra. Looks like they have about 3 of them in here. There's also supposed to be a marabou stork, but we have yet to see it. Wow, look at the horn on the white rhinoceros there.
He has so much room.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 of them. One's getting up.
Yes.
One's standing up. I thought that was a rock, to be honest.
Ah, well, if we were playing rhinoceros or rock, Molly, you would have lost.
I would have.
I will give the Toronto Zoo a lot of credit. Many of their animal enclosures are massive. See a couple different guys. If I zoom all the way in, the greater kudu there. And next up is the hippopotamus.
He's sleeping underwater.
Yeah, I'm guessing that might be his favorite spot, right by that kind of like the little fountain that comes out.
Yeah, it fits his nose perfectly.
No sign of the warthogs today, but another large enclosure. Man, I would be really happy if I saw it using its like scratchy brush station over there. That'd be a blast. We have made it to the giraffes. I love where they put the enrichment food for this one, as it has to be right up near the people and then kind of use its big tongue to get it out. And an adorable little giraffe over here. Another view of the little baby giraffe and its little baby giraffe tongue.
His name is Imara, for her. Imara.
And the little giraffe has come out into the sun to pose. Inside this big pyramid building is the Africa Rainforest Pavilion. There are 3 lemurs over there. Looks like they can go into this box to get food. That's fun. And they're paired up with an African crown crane as well.
That's a little. I don't think I've ever seen that pairing.
No. Here you do get a better look at the African crown cranes, famous for its head feathers. There's definitely some odd bedfellows in the enclosure with the lemurs. There's also, as you can see down here, an Aldabra tortoise. The Rainforest building is a massive building. I believe this radiated tortoise has declared this one his feed bowl. Oh, maybe not. He's getting up. That is a very peaceful looking pygmy hippopotamus.
He is very peaceful.
Now, they do have 2 pygmy hippopotamuses here at the zoo, and I believe they have announced on social media that one of them is pregnant.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Interesting naked mole rat enclosure. It's kind of done up like a hamster pet area from like the 90s with a whole bunch of tubes.
I wonder which one's named Rufus.
Is one of them named Rufus?
Yes, obviously you have to have one named Rufus.
Here's a fun one. You can see 2 little meerkats over there. And then in the log is an African crested porcupine.
Those 2 probably work good together.
Yeah. Seems like a box of treats. It is a drumstick ice cream box he was looking at. Here's a treat. I think these are 3 rhinoceros hornbills. And they're all wandering.
I love them.
They are very, very cool. Now, this is in the enclosure with the kudu. You can also see an ostrich over there.
There's a vulture, apparently.
Yes, we saw the vulture earlier.
Oh, okay.
But not on camera, though. And this was a little alcove in that rainforest building. You get to come outside for a different view of the savannah. All right, just to make sure that I am correct, it is the southern ground hornbill.
I almost corrected you, but you usually are way better with animal names.
Yeah, the rhinoceros one has the thing on the beak.
Yeah.
These guys do not.
They're my favorite.
I love how they're walking together. This looks to be a big species of ibis. Quite the aquarium here for the cichlids of Lake Malawi. You can zoom in here on a West African dwarf crocodile.
Look, you can see his tail all the way at the back.
It's the indoor home for the gorillas is next on the trail. And there is one sitting like right there in front of us.
You don't even get the best feeling.
No. But maybe that's better for them.
It's definitely better for them.
And here's a better view of that guy who we saw the back of. Here's a better look at the indoor enclosure for the gorillas. The 2 that are in here are part of the bachelor troop. Overall, the zoo is home to 6 gorillas. And that guy's holding onto a swing. The red river hog's in his little lake.
Nope, he's out now.
He's out of his little lake. They have a pretty cool enclosure here. Lots and lots of dirt for them to play in. A lot of times they'll use their shovel noses to try and find grubs and whatnot.
I think there's like 6 of them.
Yeah,
A lot.
there's 2 here. And then over there you can see 2 resting very peacefully. Sounds fun. Mayan temple ruins is the next exhibit.
This is a seasonal area.
This is a beautiful, beautiful enclosure. I love the giant waterfall on the left. And even better, this is where you can find the zoo's capybaras. The world's largest rodent.
He's eating, enjoying some food.
They're really neat. Here's a bit better view of that capybara.
He's now taking a rest. Done eating.
Now this enclosure is not only home to that wonderful South American mammal, but also the 8th wonder of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the backside of water!
Yay!
Hanging out there is a spider monkey.
Black-handed spider monkey.
I like how he's like using his tail to hang from that, the rope there.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff for the spider monkeys to play on as well. Here's another view of that spider monkey in its oh so interesting pose. I believe right at the edge of the enclosure there, hanging out with us, is a Sarima, and then a vulture on the perch. A flamboyance of flamingos.
Look at you using your education.
Yeah. Good thing I have that degree in mechanical engineering so I can talk about animals on the internet. Looks like there's duckweed or something all throughout the... I'm not sure if it's duckweed or something else that is making this all green. The flamingos don't seem to mind. I think some of them might be eating it. Based on the sign, I think this could be a good one. The Australasia pavilion. There is one sleepy crane. That's the first animal you see outside the pavilion. Having a scratch there is a red-tailed black cockatoo. And I'm a little bummed. In this enclosure, there's some really cool animals. They're just not out at the moment, or they're asleep. You do have a short-beaked echidna, which are so neat. You also have a batong.
Both of them are really cute.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're hiding at the moment. You can see a pair of laughing kookaburras.
They're really close to the people.
I do like how the zoo does give you ample warning. Don't do it. They will bite. Posing for us there is a Nicobar pigeon.
I like how he's just sitting on a stump.
Yeah, there are a couple different species of birds in here, but that's definitely the one you could see the best. So remember that sign that said this bird bites? I believe it was talking about this bird here, as he was the one on the sign. Also, right next to his enclosure, there is a little piece of plastic that happens to be just his height. I really like Victoria crown pigeons. A very neat species of bird. Posing for us in the sun there is one of the two Komodo dragons at the zoo. Their names are Como and Raya.
I like Raya.
Yeah, like the Disney movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And it's very interesting. They have a sign that says if you're looking for the Komodo dragons, to look into the trees. They have a big stairway that can, or a big ramp that can take the Komodos up in the tree. There are a series of smaller enclosures here like you would find in a reptile house. Looking at a very vibrantly colored banded iguana.
He is really green.
There's 3 or 4 enclosures for the green tree python and the emerald tree boa. And both those species, they tend to hang out like that. These friends, they are red-bellied short-necked turtles. And they share an enclosure
with the black tree monitor. Climbing up and down. There he goes.
There's a little better look at him. Climbing right from rocks. He's trying to climb on that tree.
You can do it, buddy.
Come back later, and the monitor is now in the water.
Look, he's coming to get you.
Definitely kind of does a snake/crocodile swim.
Yeah. I don't get their names, Molly. These are red-clawed yabbies.
Yeah, they're the world's largest freshwater crayfish.
The next section in the Australasia building is about the Coral Islands. The Solomon Island skink is both having a nap, and I believe it's currently shedding its skin.
They are the world's largest skinks, growing up to 81 centimeters.
The Solomon Island leaf frogs are pretty adorable.
I like how they're just together chilling on a rock.
And now the Great Barrier Reef. It's a pretty good size aquarium enclosure. Looks like there's at least 6 different species of fish in here.
Angelfish, butterfly fish, triggerfish.
This enclosure here is for wombats, but wombats are also another nocturnal animal, so it might be difficult to see them. Heading into the kangaroo walkthrough, it does run some pretty limited hours. We're at the zoo on a Saturday, and the walkthrough is open from 11 to 3. Made it inside of the kangaroo walk-around area. At least in the first part, there's none over by the guest at all. Got a pretty good sized kangaroo there off in the distance. Now stand it up. It's a big kangaroo. Tigers are big cats, but they are indeed cats. So that one is doing kind of some stuff you'd see a normal house cat do. And now that the tiger's thoroughly cleaned, it is time to nap in pretty adorable pose. The Americas are up next. Hope we get to see some sloths. Oh, I think the sloth is going into his home. Goodbye, sloth. Who fades ever so softly into the darkness. So I thought the sloth was going to sleep. It is not going to sleep.
You are very wrong.
It's trying to be Spider-Man crawling across the top of its cage.
Maybe cleaning the spider webs off a corner.
Oh, that would be very nice of him. It is always a treat when you get to see the sloths awake.
It is fascinating how they move.
Very precise with their movements.
Yes.
That is a white-faced saki monkey. They are one of the poofiest species of monkey. And I think that the golf cart woke him up. Heading into the America Pavilion. Before heading into the building, there is a great horned owl. 2 blue and yellow macaws are the first thing we see once going in the building proper. It's like they are grooming a little bit. Man, that is a very, very pretty bird.
Yeah, the markings on its eyes is like perfect.
On the ground there is an elegant crested Tinamu?
Tinamu?
That adorable little creature, that is a golden lion tamarin. I do like how these guys, you can view them indoors or outdoors. Like when we saw that sloth crawl through a hole, it was one of these holes to go to this indoor enclosure. There are some aquarium exhibits in this area as well, so you get to see the American lobster. That is a river ray, native to South America. The zoo has a ton of these Panamanian golden frogs. That is an eastern loggerhead shriek, and it seems like it has, like you would give a dog, like a speedball.
Yeah, to like slow down its eating.
Yeah. Looks like it does have some grubs in there it's trying to get to. Yup, it got one. Molly, I know what way I want to go next. And as you might have guessed, baby turtles, well, they're absolutely teeny tiny. He's maybe 2-3 inches long there.
That one guy's trying to climb up.
Yeah, look at his, you can see his neck. Oh, nope, back to going for swims. It's fun that they eat this lettuce that's so much bigger than they are.
Yes.
There is an outdoor section for the otters. There's also an indoor area for the otters. Did run up some stairs because I thought I was going to see an otter because people were looking. Instead, a snapping turtle. Who, while not an otter, very cool. I will say they have pretty good signage here at the Toronto Zoo. And while we couldn't see the otters today, it's actually a fun news because they had 3 pups born about 2 months before this video is getting filmed. Normally, I think signage like this makes a lot of sense. For this particular animal, I don't think we needed that instruction. They do look like they're possibly dwarf caimans.
They are.
I think I found my least favorite section of the Toronto Zoo.
The Brazilian bird-eating spider
Yes!
could definitely eat a bird.
Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, that's a giant bird. Bigger than my hand.
Yeah, I would say probably 6 inches in diameter or so. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I bet this exhibit probably freaks a lot of people out. The Madagascar hissing cockroaches. They have so many of them. We made it all the way to Canada, and it feels like we've never left home, as those are American alligators.
The other day we were at Canada's Wonderland, and you said, "Oh look, there's a gator in the water," and I said, "I really hope not." It was a fish.
It was
Turned
a
out to
fish.
be a
I'm just so used to seeing gators all over the place back home. When you see alligators in the wild or in a zoo, a lot of times they'll grow about 1 foot per year. That's how you can guess kind of how old these alligators are. I would say the one on the right is probably 6 feet long, so probably around 6 years old. This little fellow there, that is a spotted turtle.
You can also see him in Florida, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. He's endangered, though.
Oh. I'm not sure how the round goby made it to the Americas Pavilion, but what an interesting looking fish.
He's really cool. Oh, does he skid around on the bottom?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's cool.
Had we read the sign more, they got introduced to the Americas. They were first spotted in like the 1990s, and they are now in all of the Great Lakes. And this
That
one
makes
is.
sense of why he's in the Americans.
And look at that little pose. This small white species of fish, these are blind cavefish. They're native to Mexico, and a lot of times when you'll see them in a zoo or aquarium, they'll be in a much darker enclosure. It's interesting to get to see them in a very nice lighting here. Another species I'm not too familiar with here, it's the grassland whiptail lizard. They're native to kind of like the western desert areas of the United States.
And they have adapted their reproductive with removing males from the process and by cloning themselves. That is crazy.
Here you can see a timber rattlesnake doing snake stuff. That is an American eel. Not looking at us there with some big horns. That is a mouflon. Off in the distance there, I believe they're having lunch, is a pair of Asian wild horses. Pair of snow leopards having a nap. Big Rocky Mountain type enclosure for the western caution turs. Looks like it's a large species of goat.
They're endangered. But they're enjoying their food right now.
Yeah, for an endangered species, they have a lot of them here at the Toronto Zoo. I love some of the horns.
I don't know if I've ever seen them before, though.
No.
Some of them do have really big horns.
Yeah, like that guy over there. Zoomed in there on a Steller's sea eagle.
He is so pretty and big.
Yeah, they're a very large bird of prey species.
Not too common to see.
No. This might be the biggest, most fluffiest camel I've ever seen in my entire life.
He is giant. He's very fluffy. I really kind of want to pet him.
I know. We have found a bunch more camels, including one of the stars of the zoo at the moment. That over there on the right, that camel is about 30 days old at the time of recording. Here's a much clearer shot of that baby month-old camel. Look at that precious little face. Another one of these big fluffy camels just posing in the sun.
Just having a good snack with the grass.
The baby is now standing up. And I think going to nurse. Toronto Zoo is a really, really big place. I'm guessing this is normally like a lake or a fountain in this gardensy area. Well, I think I know which way we're going. We are currently looking at Blue and Jay, the two Skyland Hodge cows they call the Toronto Zoo home.
They just got fed.
They did. They're
They
very
ran
excited.
over to the keeper.
Not sure if they're sponsored by the Toronto Blue Jays or they're just big fans. They do have a baseball at the side of the enclosure.
Oh, look at them. They are so adorable.
They are. This is awesome. Look at the rope climb area for, I believe those are for the zoo's orangutans. It's really high up. That's probably close to 80 to 90 feet up there. I would love to see them up there, but not at the moment. I believe this building here is the Indo-Malayan building. And in we go. And for those orangutans to get outside and get up like 100 feet, they could take this tunnel that you see as soon as you get in to the pavilion. Ooh, and there's a big waterfall as well. I've been really impressed with the signage here at the Toronto Zoo. This device here is used for the keepers to train the arowanas. Pretty cool aquarium here. I believe these are all like Asian carp. It kind of goes like 180 all the way around you. There's an aviary in here. This colorful bird walking. No, come back, buddy.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
He's coming back. Yeah, it's a bleeding heart's dove. Oh, he's not coming back. Maybe he's coming back. Okay, now he's coming back. I like watching these little guys running around into their feed dish. Heading outside to the orangutan enclosure, and there's very important signage there. Do not stand below. I found the orangutan. Oh my goodness.
That's so cool.
He's got a stick. Oh, it's getting the treats that are on the window with its
that's
stick,
so smart.
and then it's eating it. Fascinating. That is a smart orangutan. Here's the outdoor orangutan enclosure. It's kind of funny that one's hanging out of the really small inside section. I will say this definitely feels like the newest, and as far as like any single animal enclosure goes at the zoo, this seems like the best one. The one that's
Absolutely.
like the most world class. It's very immersive. I think there was only 2 out on exhibit today. It seems like they could hold a lot.
Yes.
This enclosure is known as the Indo-Malayan Tortoise Breeding Center. So they got a couple different species in there.
They have 2 different tortoises and 2 different turtles.
Here's a species you don't see very often, the crocodile newt.
Their orange spots are poisonous.
Oh, well, now I don't want to see you in person, besides, like, behind glass. Oh, there's another guy in here, too. Are you like a crocodile monitor or crocodile newt? You're definitely a different species there.
Crocodile lizard.
One of the coolest species of lizard we're looking at right here, a green-crested basilisk. This is really fun. There's a peacock area, and you've got a couple of having the big feathers all out. You've got one here and then one in the back with the feathers. Well, it seems like this next section is a ways away, off to the Canadian domain, which is a 1-hour journey there and back. I do like that on the jaunt back to the Canadian domain, which looks like it is down a pretty good-sized hill. They do have that nice bar right there in case you need your on-the-way beer. Well, we found our first animal, a raccoon climbing a fence.
Climbing down.
Look at his little face.
That guy that came to our house the other day.
You know, I didn't think I would be this amused by a raccoon in a zoo, but here we are. What an adorable little guy.
Up and down he goes.
What? There's a raccoon cafe inside.
I do like how the mountain lion's sleeping. Kind of on its side, kind of on its back.
According to my map, it's a cougar.
I believe they're interchangeable terms.
Oh, okay.
He just rolled over to change sleeping positions. And this
He's
one,
really cute with his paw kind of over his ear.
yeah. Not on exhibit today, but this is the enclosure for the bison. This is massive. Holy cow. I think I've been to small zoos that are not as big as this bison enclosure. This is the enclosure for the grizzly bears, but after that long walk, it has rewarded us with no viewing of grizzly bears. They must be inside. This is not an animal area, it's just kind of like the natural setting the zoo is in, kind of like Canadian wetlands. The Toronto Zoo is a good probably 20 to 30 minutes outside of Toronto proper, more or less in the middle of nowhere, which gives them the room to do whatever they want. This place is massive. The zoo does have some pretty good directional signage all around, and we're back in the Canada area at the moment. And from here to the entrance of the zoo is 1.5 kilometers.
My feet feel that.
We made it to the end of the Canadian domain area, and there's another bison enclosure. I think one of them is normally moose and one of them is normally bison.
Yeah, I'm assuming this one's usually the moose, because the mooses are off exhibit.
Gonna zoom way in. Even though they're about 100 yards away, the zoom on the camera is pretty good, so you can see one bison standing up over there. I believe there are a bunch more laying down.
Yeah, I think they have a lot.
It's a bit different for a zoo. They've got a wildlife health center, not that part being different, but then a big greenhouse. Big fan of the cactus growing out of the statue's head. And yeah, it's just like a greenhouse. It's rather warm in here, so if you're on the zoo in a colder day, this might be where you would want to go. And it's just like going to a botanical garden. There are different sections to the greenhouse as well, so you can see from all the cactus that we are currently in a desert area. There's also some fun photo ops. I was a bit confused when it said Animal Health Center and Greenhouse. I'm like, that shouldn't be in the same building. Well, nope, I definitely found the health center, and that's a much, much more modern and scientific or hospital-looking building. It is very neat in here. You do get to look like big 10-foot windows into some of the various, like, where they would get their checkup, or this room over here is for animal surgery.
We're from Orlando, and this really reminds me of Busch Gardens, Tampa.
Yeah, they have very similar that you could, check out as a guest. Up next is the Discovery Zone and the Kids Zoo. Molly, I believe that's a smaller marabou stork, right?
Yeah, no, he looks tiny compared to storks, obviously.
Yeah, 'cause that's a very large species of animal. So that must be like a juvenile. I would not have guessed that this is an enclosure for rabbits. But over
It's an
there,
enclosure for a rabbit.
it's domesticated rabbits, and he's hopping towards us. It's a big rabbit and a very pretty rabbit. Definitely one you would want to snuggle with. The domesticated animal fun continues with guinea pigs. Look at that little guy. I thought this was going to be like a bird aviary, but I don't see any birds. There's like a treehouse on a slide. Up there's a big Eurasian eagle owl. I definitely think this children's zoo is kind of one of the older sections of the zoo. There's a lot of empty enclosures and like habitat being, refurbished and that kind of thing. There's another section for guinea pigs. This one is eating, and they're pretty adorable. I'd love to see them, like when I'm guessing that's probably their night home back there. Like they all come down a ramp to start the day. If you like rabbits and guinea pigs like I do, children's zoo might be for you. I think that's it's one of the giant Flemish rabbits. Oh, look at that guy. That's an African spur-thighed tortoise. If you're a fan of turtles and tortoises, this zoo has just about every species. I think I've seen 1 million turtles and tortoises today. I imagine during the probably 2 months or so where it's nice weather, this splash pad would be very popular. The Malayan Woods Pavilion looks like one of the smaller buildings at the zoo. Very well themed pavilion in here, and you're greeted with the giant gourami fish.
Look at how big his eyeball is.
And it's like protruding out. Looking at a red-tailed green rat snake. There's also an enclosure for clouded leopards in here, but could not find it. All by himself off in the distance, that's a greater one-horned rhinoceros.
He's tired.
I am too, buddy. This building has no sign whatsoever.
Guardians of the Wild.
Which I believe is one of their catchphrases here at the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
And this building would be that indoor home for the greater one-horned rhinoceros. Also, really good signage here, where you can learn all about the species. Taking a look at the map of the Toronto Zoo, and this place is gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely one of the biggest zoos we have ever visited. You do kind of have the entrance over here. If you go to the right, you get the Discovery Zone, Eurasia, Australasia, the Tundra Trek, the Americas, the giant African area, and then the Canadian domain in the corner. Big, big place.
They do have an app. If you don't know where you're at or trying to get to a certain section, it tells you and gives you directions, which is really kind of nice.
Yeah, their apps are really handy too. They give you a lot of animal information, as well as you can find your food and beverage and other things. Water fountains. There are no animals in this section, but there's a nice boardwalk that takes you in between the Americas area and the African area. For $4, you can ride the zoo's conservation carousel. It's a really great zoo carousel. I love the bird on top, the big vines that act as supports, tons of funky animals, an iguana, an anteater.
Look at the snake.
Yeah, it looks like that spins too. Look at the sloth.
That's awesome.
This is one of the coolest zoo carousels I think I've seen. The Toronto Zoo, it is a very, very big zoo. If I remember, I'll let you know how many steps we did during our visit here. But if you want to get around, maybe you have mobility issues or you're tired, there is a Zoomobile, which is, they have a couple different types of trams that will take you around the zoo to different stops.
It's $10.
Do want to throw a quick note in there. The Zoomobile tickets, they do sell out.
Yeah, it's sold out for today. It's 11 a.m.
In the Tundra section, they have a zip line ride you could ride. This one gets moving pretty good. Not sure the cost on that, but they are a lot of fun. There's a very pretty stream that runs through the middle of the zoo. And there's some fish hanging out. I believe they are probably looking to be fed. For $12, you can go on a virtual reality simulator ride. Something I like about this, it looks like there's a whole bunch of different movies you could get. Molly, which one would you choose?
Probably the polar bear. Though the safari looks interesting.
Gotta say that it's some fun zoo signage there for Tundra tacos. We did grab a slice of pizza for about $7 at a Pizza location. And it's kind of fun. Where we're sitting, and enjoy the pizza, and then watch the buffoons chase a Canadian goose. Here's a fun way to get people to recycling. At the Coca-Cola Recycle Zone, you get to vote for your favorite animal. So you could scan your UPC, and then you put it in whichever one you want. I mean, there's a lot of wrong choices here. Obviously, the penguin's the correct choice.
Yeah.
If walking around the zoo wasn't enough all day, there's a ropes course you can go up on for a couple of dollars. They have lots of merchandise for the Scottish Highland cattle. I love the shirts for the kids. Toronto Moo.
That's great.
It appears if you buy out the zoo, you can also put big bouncy castles in your picnic pavilion. We were talking about how the Zoomobile was sold out. It's because I think Toronto Hydro has bought most of the tickets for it.
Yes, for these people.
Right near the front of the zoo, there's a big construction project going on. It is for a new building, the Community Conservation Center. I think it's going to be a new entrance to the zoo, and most exciting, a new otter enclosure. Always good to see the zoos expanding and building better homes for their animals. Here they're building a new African's grassland area, which looks like it's going to be a new indoor home for the African savannah animals. It looks pretty done. Molly, I'm so incredibly sad that the stand is closed. This penguin here, whose slogan is "Stay frosty, my friends," the booth sells boozy snow cones.
I didn't know you liked snow cones.
I mean, if that penguin's selling me one, it's got a little umbrella in it, I'm in.
Absolutely.
Also, look, there's like no clouds today. It's getting hot. Definitely speaking my language here in the African section, you got the Simba cocktail bar with cocktails and beer. And then you can hang out in the shade in the patio and watch the rhinoceroses.
That is great.
Molly, what time is it?
I think it is beer 30 after 4 hours in the zoo.
Yes, I don't put these clips in the same chronological order since we've been here, but yeah, we've been at the zoo 4 hours and 15 minutes. We got the zoo lager from this pretzel bar. You can walk around the zoo with your beer, and on the can there, that is a picture of Amara, the baby giraffe at the zoo. After almost 8 full hours at the zoo, checking the step count, 24,000, almost 10 miles, and the feet are feeling it. And that will do it for our video from the Toronto Zoo. What a place that was, man. Oh my goodness. I cannot get over how big the Toronto Zoo is. A little bit of practical information. It did cost about $44 to get into the zoo. Now, if you do have a membership to a different AZA reciprocal zoo like Molly and I do, you do get in for half off. And it was $20 Canadian to park your car. I think my favorite exhibit overall was the one for the orangutans, but my favorite animals, and there was a lot, I like the polar bears, the Arctic wolves, and some of the babies like the baby giraffe and the baby camel. If you got any questions about the Toronto Zoo, let me know in the comments section below. And thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, maybe you'll want to watch another one. Like while we were in the Toronto area, we went up to Canada's Wonderland, a fantastic amusement park.